That is another reason why there's a legitimacy crisis. Nobody trusts the institutions anymore.
It's because it's a global community now. Like, we live in the U.S., but this global governance, it's here now. We can say, like, it's coming, but it's here now. Like, it is one unigovernment that's trying to
But the corruption
alter
is
the shape
so
of
in your face, though. When you have a moment in time in history where you say Chad, you're going to be investigated by the FBI, right? If you say it online, you say incel, you say red pill, you go to Epstein Island. You're on the client list of Mr. Epstein. FBI's like, yeah, you're clear. You're good. Don't worry about that. How in the world are we allowing the Federal Bureau of Investigations? By the way, the DOJ, FBI had an investigation on Epstein. They never released the findings of that investigation. They have the client list. They have the videos. They have the pictures of very powerful people doing some very horrible things.
Well,
why wasn't anyone punished?
I mean, if you were on some dude's island and then you were asked to investigate yourself, you wouldn't release the list either.
That's true. Good point. Very good point there.
So,
yeah. That makes
I imagine
total
that's
sense.
likely the circumstance.
I think why are we letting people do this? Because people haven't stepped up to build systems that are resilient to this kind of behavior. So it's going to happen. We need systems that are encrypted, where we control locally our own system. We need to be able to govern ourselves locally as best as possible. When you start building systems like that are not untrackable but challenging to track, I think you're in a better place where the code's readable.
But the issue is the FBI, the DOJ have gone after anybody who makes encrypted communications.
I feel like they're afraid that there's going to be some sort of revolt or revolution in the States.
I hadn't heard that. I encrypt everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, aside from the fact that they've probably cracked a whole lot of the encryption.
Telegram, the Russian government has cracked Telegram. They're investing people who
let me
complain about the Russian war.
I'll just ask you something very simple. Who do you think has more cyber resources, a private company or a nation state? If we're talking, it obviously depends on the nation state, right?
Yeah.
I think Chiquita Bananas had a good hold over. What was it? What countries was it?
Nicaragua? I don't know.
I don't think it was.
Costa Rica?
There are two countries.
Costa Rica. But anyway, I digress. We're talking about Russia and their military capabilities in terms of cyber warfare. Pretty sure they're going to have more resources than Telegram. And they're going to have a capability to either crack Telegram encryption or, simply put, go to the people who run it and then say, here's what you're going to do or else. Maybe the CEO of some company goes out for his pick up his newspaper in front of his apartment. When a black van pulls up, guys throw a bag over his head, throw him in, they drive off. Nobody knows it happened. And then he wakes up in a dark room and they're like, you're going to give us a backdoor to all of your encryption or else. And they go, whatever you say.
And that's exactly what happened to LavaBit and the founder of LavaBit. I interviewed the guy. It was Edward Snowden's email service that he was using. The feds came to him and says, give us everything on Edward Snowden.
Or else.
And then I believe he printed out 100 pages of the password in very small font and then gave it to the FBI, legally complying with them. And then they had to manually put in the long password to the encryption. And then when they were doing that, I think he deleted the server.
He shut the whole company down.
Shut the whole company down. And then this is why, this is like in China. This is almost exactly what's happening in China. But here we just have a different face on it. And the more we don't understand this reality, the more we kind of hinder ourselves. Because when we look at Facebook, when we look at YouTube, when we look at, as we found out from Twitter, we're not looking at private entities and private corporations. We're looking at government's hand inside of the business directing not only who gets to say whatever they want to say, but who gets to see it, why they get to see it, who gets promoted, who gets demoted. That right there is the power to control people's minds. And that's the power that they're wielding every single day. And people need to realize it more than ever.
This story that came out a few weeks ago, or like a week and a half ago, that Elon Musk said there were qualifiers coded into the Twitter system that would identify you as a Democrat, a Republican, or a VIP, or Elon Musk, which was funny and weird that he had his own special category of this is Elon, he's tweeting. But they would label you a Democrat or Republican. They had that in their system and people were calling that out. How much do you want to bet that if you had the Democrat tag, that was okay that you said that thing about those kids? When that guy posts the picture of the wood chipper with blood coming out during the Covington kid incident, I wonder if he had one of those tags on it and they're like, he's okay.
So the thing that's been running through my mind through this conversation is, let's say that somebody who doesn't listen to you tunes in, Tim. It's so hard to break through to people when you show stories like this, or when you talk about scores, or when you talk about, because they'll just think you're a conspiracy theory, lab leak conspiracy.